Hey everyone, let's do another project. Got nothing else going on. Our last project in the ARA N110 class was going to be a life-size portrait bust, head, neck, kind of shoulders, a little bit of chest, using the bonehead armature that you see here and monster clay. And just a reminder, monster clay is not like polymer clay. It doesn't end up as a finished product. It's an intermediate sculpting material, so we would sculpt with it, take photographs of it, and that would be the end of its life. Or if it was something you wanted to keep and make permanent, you would make a mold off it and cast it in something like resin or hydrostone, something more permanent. If you're new to monster clay, if you've just wandered in from somewhere that's not in one of my classes, it's really the gray. We're using gray. Only comes in the medium strength. It is I prefer that hardness, the medium hardness. But you need to warm it up. So I'm going to be using a primarily as mini crock pot just to keep it soft, particularly in the first few stages of the sculpture to get it up and running. So this will be a different video series than the mini bust in polymer clay. Be less step by step. I mean, the structure and the approach is very, very similar in that we've got the skeleton already, and then we just start building up the muscles and the other forms and then slowly refining it. So I'll just be checking in from time to time rather than going through a lot of the individual steps. Now I say that now, and it'll probably end up being 5 hours worth of video like the last one. So let me spend a couple minutes just talking about the armature specifically. Something I want to point out on the bonehead armature, which I don't believe they're making anymore. It is made by Monster Makers, the same company that makes monster clay and cause clay. I like the idea. I like the concept. The skull I find is a little bit wide here, the jaw. As you know, love to talk about reference, got to have reference. So this is a more accurate anatomical skull. And if you were to look at them side by side, you can see the width of the jaw here is, it's a little extreme. I mean, overall the skull is a little bit larger than this. That's okay. We can deal with that. But the way this jaw flares out here, I worry a little bit what that will do to the final sculpt. So I think what I'm going to do is throw caution to the wind and actually shave this down. I do have some hot wire foam cutters. I'll do that outside. Don't use a hot wire foam cutter inside the house. The smoke is deadly. Wear a respirator. I'll do that. And you also notice that on this particular one, the teeth are a little bit mashed here. I just think it's maybe just a casting mistake. So I might build some teeth out of polymer. But I also have this nice set here. Don't ask where they came from, doesn't matter. And so I might actually, once I trim this jaw down, I might actually put these in to see what I can do. They're a little small. Again, overall this skull is a little bit oversized. So I might just build some teeth and gums out of polymer and go from there. Okay, so I'll check back in once I've got that shaved down. Probably going to trim some of these ridges here. This is most likely built like this just for casting, just to make sure the mold comes apart and goes back together easily. I will get some reference and do some drawings and pose this. I think what I'll do this time is, again, I always like to turn the head off center. I think I'm going to pull the chin up on this one. On the little mini bust in polymer clay, I had it turned again, but more kind of straightforward or even down a little bit. I think I do want to pull this one up. We'll get some nice pull in those neck muscles. Not 100% sure on the design yet, but we'll figure that out and check in later.